be nice to you, okay? And I'll actually be nice to you every
I was
week.
going to say, she's always nice.
I try. So today we're going to work on the fundamentals of seated Pilates. So this is going to involve breathing and activating your core muscles gently and your posture. And it just means that once you've got the fundamentals sorted, then we should be able to, well, we will keep you safe for future classes as well. And this will be recorded for you so you can repeat it and reflect back on it in future. Okay. Any questions at all? You three are so so polite. You've all muted already. You don't need to mute if you don't want to. You can be, publicly talking.
It's
Okay.
the work thing, Leanne. We think we're at work.
Yeah. This is your time now, so you can relax. And I like that Leanne spelt her name correctly as well. Yeah. I should write Leanne instead of Mobilate, shouldn't I? So, welcome to Mobilate. So, Mobilate specialises in working with people with long-term health conditions and mobility issues. And we specialise in basically breaking down the barriers to exercise. And they could be anything. They could be from pain, from feeling uncomfortable in a group, from teachers feeling unwilling to take you. And I've experienced all of these issues. Because I also live with something called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So my joints dislocate very easily. And I've also got associated issues with things like POTS and endometriosis. So anyone who teaches you via Mobilates has lived experience of pain and disability. So we get it. So you're in good company. And if you come to any of our classes, you'll know that we're pretty gentle, although we do like to challenge you as well, but not today. Today's going to be about gentle, getting to know your body, and hopefully helping you feel really good after the class. Okay, right, should we do this? Have you all got water available? So
I
make sure
have
you're hydrated, yeah.
just go and get some because I've just come out of a meeting. Won't be a second.
Go for it. And also tea is perfectly acceptable, a cup of tea if you prefer. And have you all got some form of chair that is quite solid and stable without arms? So we tend to go for chairs that are very, very flat here, because if they're sloped like that, it puts quite a lot of strain on your lower back. So we go with a solid chair underneath our bum, but you'll notice for comfort, I've got a little bit of a cushion. Okay, should we start? Let's do this. Okay, so 30 minutes of gentle movement. We're going to start with bringing our bums towards the front of your chair. If at any point you feel like you need to sit back against your chair to rest, please do feel free. So you've got your bum on the edge of the chair, and that just helps you start sitting upright. At times, this can impact on your back. Your back might start feeling a bit achy, especially if you're used to sitting back in chairs being very supportive. So if that happens, do sit back and take a break. And then look at your knees and check that the knees are moving right in front of the hips. So they're not there, they're not there. They're nice train tracks. And then you've aligned your heels underneath your knees as well. And now you've got a really stable base for exercise. And what we're going to do is, if you bring your fists together and put them between your knees, that generally gives you hip width apart. So that's a good train of thought. And every now and again, if you're unsure, just have a look and put your fists there. Okay, right. So we're going to start with pelvic tilts. So if you've done Pilates before, you'll notice that's something that we will always do. So I'm going to put my hands on my pelvis so you can see what I'm going to do. I'm going to tilt my pubic bone towards my nose, and then my pubic bone down towards my toes. And can you see it's a really small movement? I'm not going big. I'm starting to mobilise the lower back. That's it. And if I go sideways to you, you'll see that it's just the top part, the bottom part of my body, tilting very slightly. It helps that there's a little bit of blue there flashing so you can see the movement. That's it. So nice, tiny little tilts. We're starting to mobilise your spine. very, very gently, mobilizing the pelvis and the hips, especially if you've been sitting. That's it. And then start thinking, where is your point in the middle? So start exploring where you might find is your neutral. And I say your neutral specifically because everybody's got a different neutral position in their spines. We're all very, very different shapes. And then I want you to hold that neutral position. And generally a neutral position is where you're sat tall and there's a very little curve to your spine. Just a small one here, and that's very natural, and then another one just here. So this one will go out and this one will go in. Not many people have a completely flat back. It's safer for it to have some shock absorbing in it. Okay, so you've got a gorgeous spine, you've got gorgeous pelvises, and now we're going to circle the shoulders. So we're going to bring the shoulders forward, up, back, and down. That's it. Is anyone particularly creaky today? Normal? Not too bad. That's it. So we're just going very gently, starting to teach our bodies that it's safe to move. That's it. Well done. And then when you feel ready, bring them up, back and down, and that should give you that nice open chest position. And this is great if you're prone to sitting at your desk a lot, and I'm assuming that if you work for the uni or if you study there or you're a researcher, you're going to spend a lot of time doing this. So this posture here is really good for you, and what we will start to do is activate the muscles by your shoulder blade in the thoracic region of your spine, just here, so we can counteract this and we'll get you strong and get rid of any body aches. Okay, so next, if you're hypermobile, think small, so think maybe 30% of the movement that you want to do, but we're going to look up towards the sky on one side and breathe in. And then slowly exhale as you then tilt your chin down towards your chest and up to the other side. And keep thinking about your range of movement, breathing deeply in and exhale. Perfect, good. So what I'm looking for is just checking that you're not hanging your heads backwards, that you're keeping your neck safe, and also that you're still breathing. And then your final one. And then bring your heads back towards me. And think about your back again. So some of you might have noticed, I know that when I'm concentrating, instead of my neutral position, I tend to do that, or I tend to do that. So have a think about what you did with your back. What we want to do is keep it neutral. We don't want too much of an arch in it. We want somewhere in between. Okay, so I'm not sure how many of you experience pain, because I've seen Diane's health form but not the other two. So if you experience pain on a regular basis, and that could be headaches or pain in the joints, often you've got an underactive parasympathetic nervous system, and it's as a result, it's like a response, it's your pain response. And what happens then is you end up in a bit of a cycle. So pain is very, very complicated, and there's lots of reasons for pain, but the parasympathetic nervous system can support you to soothe the pain. It can help you slow down your heart rate, and it can help you actually slow down your breathing rate and your blood pressure, lower it all down. But it also helps you calm the pain signals, stimulates your digestion, which is always helpful. And basically makes you feel better. So people in pain, people with any chronic health conditions, people who struggle with their tummies, slowing down your breathing really helps. And there's a thing that you can do to help that, and it's really easy. You can basically breathe in through the nose, say for a count of 4, and then breathe out for longer. So say for a count of 6, breathing out. And you can choose to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, or in through your nose and out through your nose. Okay, so you can choose. It's more beneficial to keep breathing through your nose, but some of you might be a bit blocked, in which case keep breathing through your mouth. So we're going to do this together. We're going to breathe deeply without the shoulders lifting for 4. So let's do it. So let's breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and then breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then breathing in, 2, 3, 4, and breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then do this in your own head so that you can take your own breath when you need to, taking the deep breath in, and then breathing out as slowly as you can. And you all remember to keep your shoulders down when you did this. Well done. Do one more in your own time. I'm getting hot, so I'm going to have to take this off. Okay, so that's soothing breathing to stimulate your parasympathetic nervous system, which then calms down all your fight-flight responses. The next type of breathing is the Pilates breathing, which is lateral thoracic breathing. So lateral is side, thoracic is this region here, and breathing. So we're going to either let your hands rest like this, or put your hands on the outside of your rib cage. That's it. But if that's uncomfortable to your shoulders, let them rest, or you could even give yourself a hug this way. So I want you to think about your rib cage like an accordion. So as you breathe in, you're expanding the accordion, really nice and wide. And as you breathe out, you're compressing that accordion. And for years and years and years, I could only get a centimetre in expansion in my rib cage. But with more practice, you can increase that expansion in your rib cage, which increases your breathing capacity, which is so good for you, especially if you've got any conditions like asthma and bronchiectasis or COPD. So letting your arms hang or putting your hands on your rib cage, I'd like you to breathe deeply in, imagining the rib cage pressing out into your hands. So, and then release. And you'll probably notice you really want to lift up your shoulders, but you're letting the shoulders relax downwards as you do this. So you're breathing deeply in and out. And these are the very, very fundamentals of Pilates, learning how to sit or hold yourself in posture and learning how to breathe. So we're breathing deeply in. And we're really maximizing the use of the rib cage and the respiratory muscles as well with doing this one. Okay, give me one more. And then gently release it all out nice and slowly. That's it. Now I've got quite a lot of, what do you call it, side boob basically going on here and arms. So when I breathe in and out, it really does push my arms out and back in again. So you may not have felt that. You may not have much going on here, or you may not have that much rib expansion yet. But I'll make sure as we go on in this series, we will keep getting harder and harder, very gently, according to what's good for you. And we will get these rib cages more effective. Okay, spinal movements. So keeping safe if you've got osteopenia, osteoarthritis, osteoporosis, ruptured discs. I just want you to bear in mind that you need to keep you want to avoid the end range of movement. So instead of going all the way down like this, you would go a little bit, okay? So then you've still got the same movement as everybody else, you're just not going to extremes. So we can keep your spine safe. So bear that in mind if you've got any of those conditions. We're going to explore flexion first of all in the spine. So that is this one that I just badly demonstrated. So to start with, we're going to tuck the chin down. So now we're extending the cervical area. And then keeping the bottom part of your back as straight as you can, allow yourself to fold the top part of your chest down. So now you're getting the thoracic region. And then allow the lower part of your spine to tuck under. So you could tuck the tailbone under a little bit, and then you can create this nice curve in your spine. Now, if you've got osteoporosis or osteopenia, you could put your hands on your thighs and then push yourself back up, and then that means you're not loading your spine. But this should feel really soothing to you, whichever version you're doing. Some of you might be rolling down and coming forward, so you're increasing the flexion and then rolling your way back up. Or some of you might need to be more careful and you're starting with the neck, then the thoracic, and then the lumbar area of your spine, and then coming back up again. So you're listening to your bodies and you're thinking about what's good for it for today. So you might be feeling really stiff. You could be a bit stressed with the start of term. So you're giving your body what it needs as you move. And then we're going to push ourselves back up again, and we're going to move into extension of the spine. So once again, bearing in mind you don't want to go to extremes if you've got anything that you need to look after your spine with. So extension of the spine, you could do a really small one. You could do a tiny tilt of your tailbone upwards and then release. You could do pushing your tummy forward and curving your back and lifting your chest to the sky and then release. So there's lots of options. With the neck, what we tend not to do is we don't let the head hang backwards. So we will look up, think ET neck, think about lengthening the neck and looking up where you still get that extension in the spine, but you're not compressing any nerves in your neck, and then return. And if you want to add a bit of load to make it a bit more extreme, you could do the arms in goalposts, lifting the chest to the sky, and then you could move into flexion. So you're lifting and extending, still protecting your necks. Well done for remembering. So, and then, that's it. And then we're going to hug a really giant beach ball. So get your arms around this giant beach ball and you're rounding your spine around the ball. And you're going to let this ball go up towards the sky and lift the chest to the sky. Perfect. So let's hug the giant beach ball. Well done for remembering to keep your shoulders down. And then lifting up to the sky. And you could expand, you could lift up your chest and breathe in. And then exhale as you come down. And then coming back up as you breathe in. And exhale, rounding over the ball again. This is your final one. So enjoy letting that ball go up towards the sky. And then relax your shoulders and give yourselves a wiggle. So if any of you are hypermobile or have EDS or generally uncomfortable, doing little wiggles can really help your body reset. Okay, lateral flexion. So that's basically side stretching. So I want you to pull your belly button back just an inch. So then you're protecting your back by activating the tummy muscles. And I'll talk about that more in a minute. And we're going to reach a hand down towards the floor, but not too far. It doesn't need to go far. And then come back up again. And then the other way. And I'd like you to breathe in as you reach down. And then breathe out. And you may notice your tummy comes in as you breathe out, which means you're lifting your tummy and lifting your spine using your tummy muscles. And we could add load to this one. So you could lengthen your arm away. And it's like basically putting a weight in your hand. So you're using the weight of your body, that's it, to make it just a little bit harder. Well done. Well done for moving so beautifully and slowly. That's it. Remembering to breathe in as you reach and breathing out. And one more each side. Final one. Okay, moving to rotation. So if you put your hands in an E position and place the thumb on the nape of your neck and rest the chin on the fingers, and then let your elbows rest on your chest. That's it. So we're going to start with rotation of the lower part of your spine. So the fingers are going to stay on your chin to stop you doing this. And this bit is resting on your thoracic region to stop the thoracic region taking over. So we're focusing on rotation of more of the lumbar at the moment. So you're not going to move very far here and then back. And you'll notice with the lumbar, you don't have quite as much movement. So just take note of how far your eyes can see as you move or rotate from side to side, still keeping the elbows fixed so your chest isn't moving as well. And once again, breathing in to rotate and breathing out to return. That's it. Breathing in to rotate and breathing out. And then explore by lifting up. So your nape is still protected as you rotate, and now your thoracic region will be able to get involved. So take note of how far you can see to either side now. So your neck still isn't turning, but now you've got the lumbar and the thoracic region rotating. That's it. Still breathing in as you turn. And exhale as you come back. Good, and one more, either side. And final one. And then this time, bring the hands out like this. So Cleopatra arms. So your shoulders are still down, you're still sitting really tall. And this time you can use your neck as well. So rotate and notice how much farther you can rotate with your eyes. So just see how far around you can see as you breathe in and rotate. And breathe out as you return. Still bearing in mind if you need to look after your spine so you're not going quite so far. That's it. So this must be much more satisfying for some of you who are very stiff in the thoracic region of your spine. This means that you can look a little bit further around. Well done, and one more. And then we're going to bring our arms in. So have any of you done bow and arrow before? Yeah. So we're pushing one hand forward and drawing the other elbow back, and you can open the arm behind you and then return them. So it's like you're drawing a bow. So you're rotating, you're sitting tall as you open up and exhale. That's it. Well done. And final one. Perfect. And let the arms go. Now we're going to combine a rotation and a forward flexion. And this is a classic move that some of us may have hurt their backs before. You know when your back goes into spasm because it holds on. So we're going to bring our legs a little bit wider, but make sure you've got plenty of chair under bum. That's it. So you're sitting tall again, your tummies are lifted, and then bring the arms open like this. So this opens up your chest with the external rotation. And we're going to rotate and then reach your hand to the opposite knee and then come back up again. So your shoulders are relaxed, your belly button's pulled back just a little bit as you rotate and forward flex and then return. And if you've done Pilates before, some of you might have done the saw, where you reach to the opposite side and then you reach the opposite hand backwards. So just another safety note, thinking about your backs. If you've got ruptured discs or osteoporosis, anything where you need to keep your backs protected, this is a safe move, but you just need to keep it small. So don't push it too far. Some of you, if your backs are okay, might want to reach to the opposite ankle. That's it. So very gently, rotating and then returning. And just double check you're still breathing as well. That's it. One more each side. And final one. And then returning back to me and returning your feet into hip width apart with your heels underneath your knees. So you still sat towards the front of your chair. Okay, another fundamental of Pilates is the activation of your tummy muscles. I know I've talked about it before, so sorry, Diane. I know you've done this one already. You could probably teach it by now.
No, I'm not going that far.
So the muscles here, there's a corset muscle here called the transverse abdominis muscle, and it's probably my most favourite muscle in the world. And I know that's a really strange thing to say, but it offers so much stability. When you activate this gorgeous muscle that I might call TVA or transverse abdominis muscle, it activates the muscles that support your vertebra going all the way up your back. So it offers you that additional stability. So every time we activate this, we're activating the strengthening muscles down your spine. Okay? So this is why it's my favourite. I'm a total Pilates geek. So to activate this, there's certain ways of thinking about it. One, which I've mentioned before, is pulling your belly button back just a little bit and then releasing. So to activate this, imagine pulling your belly button back, and it actually activates the whole corset to come here. Some people like to suggest putting a belt around your waist and then pulling it. And then you've got lots of notches then. Say you've got a belt with 10 notches and you can pull it up to maybe 10, which we don't tend to use in Pilates, going down to about 3, okay? So I want you to think about how much activation you need in your tummy muscles to sit upright like this. And say if there was a scale of 1 to 10, you probably, the 10 being the maximum and the 1 being not much at all. So 10 would be probably someone about to punch you in the stomach, then you're going to need to brace. And then 1 is probably lying flat on the floor, not doing anything at all. So think about how much you're using now. And we strengthen this because if some of you are feeling like you're getting a bit achy in your backs now, it's because your body's not used to using this muscle to hold you upright. And so sometimes it just forgets how to switch on. I'm never going to say your core muscles are weak because you are sitting upright and they need to be strong in order to enable you to stay upright. But what I will say is that sometimes it's hard to activate and know how much to activate. So we're going to do a couple of exercises because we're running out of time, where we're going to activate the transverse abdominis muscles, and I want you to think of a dimmer switch, where you're turning the dimmer switch up enough to stabilize you, and then you're turning it down when you finish that move. So we're going to do something called dying bug, which means that you get to do a bit of coordination too. So I want you to think hand and opposite leg. Okay, this helps. And then for now, think about your dimmer switch and turn it up enough to enable you to stay really still as you reach the hand and the opposite leg away and then return. And if you switch that off completely, so if you let it all hang out and then did it, you might notice there's a little bit of a shuffle. So what we're doing is we're activating, turning the dimmer switch up enough to stabilize as you breathe in and breathe out. So, and again, breathing in and breathing out. Good shoulders. I'm so impressed you've managed to keep your shoulders down with everything else you're remembering. Okay.
No, I couldn't remember which leg was which.
I've put you off now, sorry. Okay, now we're going to activate the TVA a little bit more. So think opposite arm and opposite leg, and we're going to hinge back as you lengthen and then return, and you'll hopefully notice that you need a little bit more TVA. So you need to turn your dimmer switch up a touch to enable this to happen. That's it. And you'll notice I turn sideways so you could see that I'm keeping my spine in a neutral position as I'm hinging back. If I ever say C curving backwards, you'll be doing this. That's it, but I want to challenge you a bit more, so we're doing hinges today. Okay, and if you fancy adding load, you could try 1 leg and 2 arms. And then see how much more TVA you need for that one. So you might have turned it up to maybe a 5 or a 6. So come back and then return. That's it. Are you all still breathing? Yeah, good, well done. So nice and gentle. Some people even prefer sitting sideways on the chair so they can come even further. But I just want you to keep yourself safe and not suddenly topple off it. Okay, and then we're going to finish with some roll downs. So roll downs are a really good way to mobilise the spine if you've been sitting for a long time, and also kind of calm down the nervous system again. So we're going to reach up and breathe deeply in as we reach our hands up towards each other. And then exhale, press the hands down past your chest. So that's like you're centering yourself. And then we're going to open up the arms, so it opens up the chest as you breathe in and keep the arms here. And then exhale as you peel your way down. So once again, think of your dimmer switch, turning it up enough to enable you to roll down towards the floor or to the point that's safe for you if you need to look after your back. And remember, you can put your hands on your thighs if you don't want to add load. At the bottom, or your bottom, take a breath. And exhale, pull the belly button up. Imagine it's pulling you back up towards the sky as you restack the vertebrae. That's it. And we're going to do one more in celebration of your gorgeous bodies. Breathing in. And exhale, press the hands down past your chest. That's it. Opening up the chest, breathing in. And exhale, peeling your way down. So you've got that external rotation going on, lifting up your tummy muscles as you roll down. And at the bottom, take a breath in. And exhale, imagine your belly button pulling you back up into a tall seated position. That's it. And then one more celebration. So we're just going to breathe in. Press the hands down past your chest and stay there. And I want you to just for a moment close your eyes and honour your body for its controlled breathing, for slowing down the breathing, the parasympathetic nervous system, for the gorgeous movement that you did in your spine, and for the gentle activation in your core muscles. So thank your body and also thank your mind for giving you a moment out of work and to focus on you and nurturing yourself. Well done, everybody. Good job. I can stay for questions.